Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope everyone is having a great day. All is well with you all. Listen, I had no intent on not going live, on making any content this weekend because I am just trying to lay low, relax, and study. But when I saw that I had reached 101 subscribers, I had to jump on and just let y'all know, okay, that I am so grateful for y'all. I am grateful to the 101 of you who found my content good enough to subscribe. And not only are y'all subscribing, you guys are leaving comments and engaging and interacting. And I love that. I love that we can come together and have healthy dialogue on different subjects. I appreciate each and every one of you. I had no idea that my channel would even get over a few views in such a short time. My first video was posted 2 weeks ago. So I appreciate you all so much. I hope that you never get tired of me saying it because every time I reach a milestone, I'm going to talk about it. Okay. So, anyway, today I figured I would read a few of the criminal complaints that I found on our boy Darrell Brooks. So I think I found two or three complaints. I did find the letter that I wanted to read in the last video. It's not that legible, but I'll do my best. It's the letter that Dawn wrote to the judge after Darrell decided to represent himself pro se, and she did not agree with that, okay? She did not consent to that. That was not lawful law. And then there's another little thing that I want to talk about at the end of that. So again, thank you guys so much. Sit back, relax. This is going to be a premiere, so I will be in the comments with you guys to interact. And if you have any suggestions on any videos or topics related to true crime, please let me know. I am open to suggestions and I will always do my best. So let me clear this off of my screen and go to the first complaint. Also, I want to let you guys know that my kids are playing in the background. They are having a time of their lives. And I believe in kids being kids and having a good time. So if you hear them, just go with it. Okay. They're minding their business. They're doing them. So just go with it. Okay. So the first complaint that I'm going to read is the probable cause arrest affidavit um, for Darrell Brooks after he thought it would be a good idea to physically assault his ex-girlfriend. So here we go. So there was an interview with Miss Patterson right after the incident. This was on November 2nd, and it reads as follows. Miss Patterson reported that they have a child in common. In fact, they do. I believe that the young lady is maybe 16 or 17 now. Um, Miss Patterson reported that she was staying at the American Inn and heard a knock at the door. She reported that she observed the defendant, Darrell Brooks, outside of the door. She reported that Brooks was yelling and using profanity at her as she tried to walk past him. She reported that Brooks snatched her phone out of her hand and that he got into his vehicle and drove off. Now, I can only imagine how afraid she was at this time. I believe that in this country, there is not enough protection for victims of domestic V. She had no one to protect her. She was in a state that she knew nothing about. She had no family there, no friends there. And here comes this maniac to harass her. Miss Patterson started to walk eastbound near the BP gas station. When she reported that Darrell started to follow her, he pulled up beside her and told her to get inside of the car. She refused, and he intentionally and without consent struck her in the face with a closed fist. Erica walked away. Erica reported that Darrell then intentionally and without consent ran over her with his vehicle while she was walking through the parking lot of the BP gas station. Now, you may or may not know that this resulted in her having a dislocated femur, which is very serious. The femur is the largest bone in your body. It supports the weight of your upper body. And so I can only imagine the pain that she went through. Okay. So now we go into the arrest of Darrell Brooks at 4:45. An officer approached the residence of Brooks. Let me see. Hold on. Officers responded to the residence and observed Brooks in his vehicle, the Ford Escape, that was parked on the rear slab. So he was parked behind his mama's house. The officers observed Brooks exit the driver's seat. Officers gave a lawful command to stop, and Brooks walked away. Officers commanded Darrell to enter the not to enter the residence. He quickly ran into the residence, closed four doors on officers as officers were behind him and tried to apprehend him. Lord. Officer observations. The officers observed Miss Patterson to have swelling to her lip and dried blood on her face. Officers observed tire tracks on her left pant leg. She was taken to the hospital for her injuries. This idiot was then charged with felony bail jumping after a check with the Wisconsin Circuit Court access revealed that he had an open case in Milwaukee. The conditions of his bail was that he was not supposed to have any contact with his mother, who was at the location of at the time of the arrest. Bail also states that Brooks is not to commit any new crimes. This is the issue that I have with Milwaukee County because if there was a no contact order and he lived in the backyard in this car, I don't understand why his mother was not charged with aiding and abetting him. I don't understand that. She purchased a car so that he would have somewhere to live, and she knowingly knew he was in in her backyard on a regular basis, and they just kind of skip over that. So I wonder what lie she used to manipulate that situation because that should have been a charge against her. I would think, but what do I know? So that's the first complaint. Let's move on to another. This is let's see what this one is. This is I believe when I'm not sure. Let's just read it and see. So this is a probable cause arrest warrant affidavit. Complainant is a law enforcement officer with the Milwaukee Police and bases this complaint on official reports prepared by another officer. Let's get to the facts. Where are they? Hmm, okay. Oh, I think this is when he assaulted his nephew. So while on the scene, it says officers spoke with Dawn Woods, his mama, who stated that her grandson, the defendant, was involved in a physical fight with I don't know who ADB, his nephew. Oh, that's the nephew. Okay. Dawn stated that after the fight was over, the nephew was leaving the residence when she heard one pop shot from outside. Now, you know I can't say the G word on here, so you know what that is, a pow pow shot, okay? The nephew returned to the scene and spoke to officers. He stated that he confronted the defendant about having his old cell phone. So basically, Darrell said that the nephew had his old cell phone. The nephew stated that the dispute began the day before and spilled over to the 24th. I mean, God, I cannot read today. I'm sorry, y'all. The nephew stated that he and the defendant engaged in a mutual fight in the backyard of the residence. Defend Lord, get it together, girl. The nephew stated that he was not injured after the fight ended. He stated that he went with his friend, TCM, and entered the vehicle to drive away. The nephew stated that as they were about to drive away, the defendant walked into the front yard with a gun and fired one pop at them. The nephew stated that they took off and he feared for his safety, as he should. All right. So the nephew's friend had also interviewed and stated that she was with the nephew at the residence when the fight occurred. When the fight was over, she and the nephew entered the vehicle, a Ford Escape. Now I'm wondering, is that the red Ford Escape or was it another Ford Escape? That Ford Escape done been through some things, ain't it? All right. She stated that she observed the defendant exit the residence armed with the pow pow at his side. So he done went in his mama's house and got the pow pow when he ain't even supposed to be in there. She stated that the defendant appeared nervous and began looking around as though he was checking to see if anyone was in the area. She stated that the defendant then raised the pow pow and popped it at her vehicle. She stated that she accelerated quickly from the scene to prevent being popped. She stated that she was scared for her safety. The defendant was no longer on the scene when police arrived. Lord. On July 25th, 2020, at approximately 3:11, officers were dispatched back to his mama's house as the defendant had returned. When officers arrived at the scene, Dawn was standing outside. She informed the officers that the defendant was inside the residence. She gave officers permission to enter the residence and search. Officers located the defendant in the living room, sitting on an air mattress. He was taken into custody without incident. Once the defendant was taken into custody, they found a 9mm pow pow located with 7 rounds on the air mattress, only a few feet from where the defendant was arrested. A check of the you know what revealed that it was listed as stolen out of Greenfield. In addition, located near him was a plastic baggie with 3 multicolored pills on the air mattress. The pills tested to be um METH. Okay. And that was that. So he was arrested. That was the incident that that was the arrest for the incident against his nephew, in which I think one of my subscribers said that he pled guilty to, or either he accepted a plea deal for. Um And so that case, I think because either the nephew didn't wanna cooperate or something to that effect. I haven't looked deep into that, but if y'all know, just let me know or whatever. But that's that complaint, and then there was something else I wanted to read. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Y'all know I'm never prepared, okay? I try to be, but hey, it just don't ever go my way. So give me a second while I look this up. Hold on. Alright, I may have found it. Let's see. I did, okay. So I don't know if you remember last video, I talked about how, um, there was witness intimidation after Darrell ran over Erica, and so I have it. I found it. If you guys are interested, you may or may not have heard it. Either way, it's cool because 'cause I'm gonna still read it. So, he was arrested and, before he was given a bail, he called his mommy, and this is what he had to say. So, on November 3rd, the defendant called his mother, Dawn, from the Milwaukee County Jail. And basically, he was trying to get Miss Patterson to cooperate so that he can get out of jail. So he called his mother and he said, they're gonna need to talk to her and need for her. God, why can't I read today, y'all? What is wrong with me? My brain just said, no, enough. Don't talk about this foolishness no more. They're gonna need to talk to her and need for her to be a witness, and she not gonna do that. But she can get the charges dropped altogether if she called down there and said, I didn't do what she said. The defendant further informed his mother, if she don't cooperate with them, they are gonna have to drop it. So as you can see, he is basically, okay, fine-tuning his manipulation skills, and his mother is in agreement with him. This is awful. This, you know why this makes me sick to my stomach? Because allegedly, Dawn was a victim of domestic V, right? And so you know your son did all of this to this young lady because he didn't do his diligence back in the day and chose to have intercourse and impregnate her, and you're mad because you caught a case because of that, so now you're just gonna make the rest of her days as miserable as you can. Your mom is very well aware of this, and instead of, you know, not even dealing with you pertaining to this, you go along with it to further victimize her? And you're a victim allegedly of domestic V? This is sickening. Oh my gosh. One day later, November the 4th, the defendant called Miss Patterson from jail. During the call, the defendant used emotional manipulation on her to dissuade her from cooperating with the criminal prosecution. Darrell told her this: why did you do this to me? You know I love you. Listen, listen, please listen. I've come to the realization I'm not going to leave you. You have my daughter. I know your potential, what you can be. I want to marry you. He further went on to emphasize that they have a 16-year history and the defendant is not finna play no more. Then he told her, will you marry me? You got to call them people. I watched an interview, I wanna say it was either on the Norman Nix show, it may have been J9 Eve, I don't know, where Erica, or it may have been Auntie Miracle. I don't know if y'all watch her channel or not, she's amazing, she's hilarious, but she did an interview where she said that when she was pregnant with their baby, he actually pointed a pow pow to her stomach, and he has never had anything to do with the child, okay? So, I don't know. 2 hours later, the defendant spoke with Miss Patterson a second time from the jail, and he told her, no, she asked him, "Are you saying all of this shit just because?" And she basically was inquiring if Darrell was serious about getting married, and he told her, okay, I'm serious, but because of this situation, you know, there is a possibility I might not get out of prison, that I could die in prison, right? He went on to tell her, I'm sitting up here facing 60 effing years. You have to keep your mouth shut. He went on to continue to emotionally manipulate her by saying, I will die in prison. And to think how bad that will make my mama feel. Think how much pain that will be on her. This is all stuff you wasn't thinking about when you opened your mouth. The defendant stressed to Erica that when she spoke with law enforcement, she should have said, I'm telling you nothing. Zara, let me tell you something. Nobody cares about how your raggedy mama is going to feel. Okay? We don't. We have no sympathy for her. At least I don't. I can't speak for everybody, but I have 0 sympathy for her. I just don't. Alright, it's still November the 5th, and he calls Erica back, and he's speaking in first and third person as a way to conceal his and her identity. So Erica went on to tell him, I tried. That is all I'm going to say. I talked to people and tried. She goes on to say, yeah, I said everything. I said a lot. It had nothing to do with you. I said, nothing happened. I said a lot. Just know that. This is so incredibly sad. As the call continued, the defendant pretended that he was not speaking directly to Erica and stated, long as they know I'm not having anyone contact her myself, I'm not trying to have no third party thing. Erica informed the defendant they want her medical thing, records, to which the defendant responded, no, and no. She has to show zero cooperation. That means no. He reiterated, right. Nope. I'm not giving you no medical records. No. She needs to stand firm. She can't let these people talk her into anything. Dude, really? Oh Lord. The next day, y'all. So they done went to bed. They woke up. This was right after his first appearance. He calls Erica, which is in direct violation of the no contact order, might I add. And during the phone call, he tells her that tell them no, I'm not signing over the to give you the medical record. I'm not cooperating with y'all. I'm not coming to no court. The defendant continued. Once you tell them that and keep stressing that and staying firm, they got no choice but to drop the case. So he's basically telling her, tell law enforcement that you're not going to be cooperative with signing over the medical record, which would be evidence pertaining to the case that he actually did run over her and break her femur. And he's further trying to coerce her, just to not be compliant. And so they would drop the case. During the call, the defendant blamed Erica for his predicament. I hope she realizes the mistake she made. I hope she realizes what she did. I hope she never do anything stupid ever again. I mean, just beating her down to the dirt. November 7th, he calls her again from the jail. On the recorded call, Erica informed the defendant that she was not returning the calls of the district attorney's office and that she informed the district attorney's office she don't want to see him incarcerated and that she was drinking during the incident. The defendant responded to her by telling Erica, that's not enough. You should have told him he didn't do anything and that all was messed up and made up. She responded, she did say she fell and tripped. He did not do it. In response, the defendant informed her she was supposed to tell them that everything was fabricated. The statement was a lie. All that. That's what she was supposed to say. During the call, the defendant said, I have no contact to tell anyone what to say because that's going to be bad for me. Lord. On November the 8th, oh Lord, he done called this girl again. Excuse me. He repeatedly blamed Erica for the defendant being charged. The defendant started telling her, "You don't say anything to me encouraging me at all." What the hell she supposed you don't you've been putting your paws on this baby since she was 15 years old. Have stalked her from county to county, state to state. All kind of verbal, mental, physical, emotional abuse. What in the hell is she supposed to say that's encouraging and uplifting to you? Oh my God. She then responded, is it all about you right now? Because you know what you did too, right? He gonna turn around and say, okay, and what did you do to cause it? You trying to make it seem like everything is everyone else's fault but yours. Like you don't ever do anything to cause shit. The whole cause of this shit was something that you fucking did. The defendant ended the call by telling her, "You did this. You couldn't even keep your mouth shut after numerous people told you that shit. This ain't the place for you to be doing this shit, and you still ran your mouth. And I'm the one sitting in here facing all this time." Erica responds, "I'm the one trying to get you out, right?" To which he responded, "You need to learn to keep your effing mouth shut. Sorry. F you then, biatch." Mm, 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 mm. I am more than positive that this is probably the way that he spoke to his mom to coerce her to get him out of jail each and every time. Each and every time. Excuse me. In the second call between the defendant and Erica on November 8th, so he done called her back. The defendant started to hold on. The defendant started the call by telling her, "If I tell your bitch ass to call my mama, ho, that's what the F you do. And if that's the case, if you don't give a F about me, then I can have my family get on your ass then." Woo! The defendant continued to blame Erica for the defendant being in custody. "I'm in here because you can't keep your mouth shut." Wow. A couple of days passed, and so now he calls his mommy, Miss Dawn Woods herself. During the beginning of the call, he appeared to be worried that he could not reach Erica, and so he told his mom, "You know, you get your bail money back anyway, but still, I'll make sure that Erica do what she say she gonna do." And then she gonna say, Dawn gonna say, "Because Erica ain't cooperating, they don't have a case." To which Darrell said, "Yep, they're gonna have to throw it out." For all the people that were on Dawn's side, the many people who are still saying that she is just misunderstood, the many of people who don't believe that criminals are made, this is your proof here. I don't know what specific issues Dawn has. I really don't. And honestly, I don't care to know. What I do know is that this is disgusting. This is disgusting. I have two boys, 7 and 8, and Lord forbid they end up in jail or prison. As parents, we do the best we can to raise them up with good values and good morals. And sometimes they go the opposite of that, and it's nothing that you can do. But in this case, as I say over and over again in each and every video that I've made, she is so ridiculous to the point where you are just going to ignore the abuse that the mother of your grandchild is experiencing at the hand of your criminal son, that you would encourage him to try to get the case thrown out, and then you want your money back? There's zero logic in this, and I am at a loss for words. I seriously am. I just can't see how I don't understand her. I read something where someone said that because she lost her daughter, she clung to Darrell even more. And I get that, but not so much so that you would encourage him to continue to commit crimes and encourage him to be the piece of crap that he is. But I would think that once your daughter died, that is when you would try to get him on the straight and narrow. And it is the complete opposite of that. During the same call, his mom described Erica's recantation in which Erica claimed that she fell in front of the defendant's car while he was trying to pull away. In response, Darrell said, "Why in the hell would I just try to mow her down, knowing I could kill her like that?" So basically, Dawn is saying that she spoke with Erica. Erica is recanting what she said and said that she somehow fell in front of the car while the car was in motion. On November 15th, 2021, the defendant called Erica again. During the call, the defendant berated Erica for not helping post the defendant's bail. "You didn't put a cent on my bill. Why would someone else have to pay for some shit you caused?" Erica informed the defendant, "You tried to." Darrell interrupted, "Nah, I didn't try to do anything because if I tried to do something, you wouldn't be on the phone now. That's what you're not realizing. If I really tried to do something to you, you wouldn't be on the phone now. If I would have told MFers to go do something, you wouldn't be on the phone now. So don't tell me what I tried to do because at any given time, it wouldn't be on try, it would be on successful." Then he continued to say, You don't know who I am by now? You ain't know my little NIGGAs is gonna do what I tell them to do. Do you understand my people are going to move how I tell them to move?" Erica responded to the defendant's threats. "So you about to do that to me?" And he responded, "Do you understand that?" And she responds, "Yes, I do." Here's another issue that I have. Now, I know that jail phone calls are recorded, for use of evidence. However, if they know that he has a no contact order against Erica and he is on his phone threatening the hell out of her, why would they continue to let this happen? Abuse is not just physical, it's mental and emotional as well. This girl is already so fearful of him. Even more now that he broke her leg, right? He has managed to find her each and every time she's tried to get away from him. And I just don't understand at what point do you block him from being able to contact her. Now, I'm left to assume that this evidence will be used at his upcoming trial. But again, this is just so hard to read. And just imagine the fear that she has on the other line. She is in a city that she knows nothing about. Again, she knows nobody here. She does not know anybody in Milwaukee County. Um, and he has abused her for so long to where she has no choice but to believe that he actually has some goons out there that are ready for her. In another phone call, oh Lord, he called her again the same day. He chastised her for continuing to talk to the district attorney's office. "You still talk to the people? You still talk to them when they call, dumbass? You ain't supposed to communicate with them at all." She responded, "I'm not. They have been calling, they've been emailing." He told her, "B, shut your MFing mouth. You still can't humble yourself. So if you still talking that dumb shit, I'm gonna do it for you. Either way, you're gonna do it yourself, bow down, B, or I'm gonna make you. Now, which one you want?" He continued to threaten her by saying, "You act like you got so much MF and protection like you safe. B, you on my MF and turf. Remember that. You acting like you got so much MF and protection like you safe." Wow. On November 30th, Investigators met with Erica, who provided the following information to the investigators. Erica verified that the defendant called her while the defendant was in custody in Milwaukee County Jail. Initially, the defendant told Erica that the defendant loved her on the phone calls. He also went on to make her feel guilty that he was in jail. She confirmed being afraid of the defendant because the defendant threatened her safety and security. The defendant knows a lot of people in Milwaukee who the defendant could employ to harm her. During the jail calls, the defendant instructed Erica on what she needed to say in order to help the defendant. The defendant instructed Erica to not say anything, to refuse to allow law enforcement access to her medical records, and to not cooperate with the prosecution, including but not by not appearing if required. The investigators played portions of some of the recorded calls referenced above to Erica, who positively identified all of the voices involved. During the time frame above, the defendant was out of custody on a $500 cash bail put up by his mom. Due to the conditions of his bail, the defendant was supposed to refrain from engaging in any further criminal contact. Now, y'all know that's some BS right there. This is what infuriates me. You guys, the jail has recorded calls of threats to a victim. Investigators met with the victim to confirm that that is her on the calls. I am left to wonder if they turned over this information to the prosecution, to the judge, and if so, why in the hell was he let out of jail? I don't wanna hear anything about overcrowding, I don't wanna hear anything about COVID, I don't wanna hear any of that. This man made direct threats to a victim that he assaulted with a vehicle. He assaulted her with his fist, okay? And y'all let him out and talk about refraining from engaging in further criminal. He's been engaging in criminal contact since he's been 17 years old. He's never complied with the conditions of bail, ever. You need to go arrest his bald-headed mama too, because guess what? She was obstructing the investigation. Y'all both trash. Darrell and his mama are both trash. This is so incredibly sad. The cycle of abuse continues, the cycle of criminality continues. I did some digging and I learned that Darrell Brooks' eldest child was recently charged with 3 felonies and 4 misdemeanors. I am going to read you the article that I found, and I think I'm going to cut it off there. I don't want the video to be too long, but let's read this really quickly. The teenage son of Waukesha parade killer D. Brooks reached a plea deal in connection with an attempted SI attempt the day after Brooks was convicted. Xavier Brooks, 19 years of age, has been charged with 3 felonies and 4 misdemeanors after holding a gun to his head and telling his mother he was going to off himself earlier this year. Xavier Brooks received an 18-month probation sentence. According to the criminal complaint, the younger Brooks was threatening SI in February. He bit his mother's finger and attempted to take her cell phone when she called police. Officers arrived at the home a short time later. He locked the door to the basement and refused to come out, eventually surrendering, and he was taken into custody. He was charged with felony counts of failing to comply with an officer, intimidating a victim through the use or attempted use of force, and intimidating a victim through damage to property, as well as misdemeanor counts of criminal damage to property, disorderly conduct, and resisting or obstructing an officer. Waukesha County Court commissioner freed him from jail on a $100,000 signature bond last February. Now, remember, I told you the signature bond, if I remember correctly, that is the one where you don't have to put up any money. You are given bond on conditions that you will return at your given court date. If you don't return, you will be responsible for paying the bond. So get this, the commissioner was the same one who freed his father just days before the parade, even though the district attorney's office requested that he be jailed for non-payment of child support. So your daddy was in jail for not paying child support. The court commissioner freed him, and then you get arrested sometime later and freed on the same type of signature bond that your father was released on for not paying your mom child support. Okay. Xavier Brooks' mother is the woman, yep, that Darrell Brooks has failed to pay. The younger Brooks agreed to undergo months of intensive mental health treatment at his mother. The alleged victim in the case wrote a lengthy letter to the judge pleading for leniency for her son. Here we go. On Thursday, the judge accepted the plea deal with prosecutors in which Brooks pleaded guilty to the failure to comply charge. All other charges against him were dismissed but read into the record. As part of the plea deal, prosecutors requested that his record be expunged. The judge agreed, pending completion of the withheld 18-month probation sentence. It is unclear if there is a relationship between Xavier and his father. Okay. Tell me what y'all think about that. Um, it just kind of sounds like just a cycle of criminality, like I said. So it all sounds the same. You know, there was a crime committed. He was arrested. He threatened to off himself. I don't know if he has any mental health issues or not. I can't say, and I won't try to uh, assume anything related to that. I don't know if that was just manipulation tactics. However, his mother did write a letter to the judge. Does that sound familiar? You know, as parents, sometimes we just have to let our kids go off and make mistakes and let them learn from them. You can't always free them out of something. Okay. I don't know if he's going to learn anything from this. 18 months probation, he's out free. That does not mean he can't go out and do what he wants. Because we see that his father was able to do what he wanted and continuously evaded law enforcement. So we'll see. I do wish the best for his son. I can only imagine what he's gone through growing up without his father. And then now your father is known all across the world for his long rap sheet and the crimes that he committed 2 years ago, the ass he made of himself in court. So I can only imagine how that ties to his name. And so I will not judge this young man. I hope that he goes on to live his best life. I hope that his mother continues to be supportive of him. However, not make excuses for him, but encourage and uplift him to overcome the odds and not be attached to the stigma that has plagued his family. um, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something new. Maybe you heard something that you have not heard before. Go ahead, leave me some comments. Let me know um, what you thought, what you felt. I will be back. And let me know this too. Let me know if you want me to do another Darrell Brooks video or if you want me to move on. I know this case has been talked about since its inception. And so I don't know if you're tired of hearing it or you just want a fresh perspective. Or if you want me to move on to something else, I was thinking about doing the Carly Russell case. I don't know if you're familiar with her and her antics, but let me know. um, and yeah, again, thank you to my 101 subscribers. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. These videos have been very therapeutic for me, and so I have had a good time making them, and I'm glad that you guys are enjoying them as well. I will be back sometime next week, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Y'all be easy. Bye.